Hello, everybody, and welcome to Elite Weather. Mr. G here, your meteorologist, with your weekend weather forecast. I hope you guys all had a great day on your Friday as we jump into this forecast together. And let's talk about our upper air pattern that we're seeing out there. And we got a nice southwesterly flow across a major portion of the U.S. coming from the southwest, moving northeast all the way into the upper Midwest into the Great Lakes. So we have a good troughing kind of taking place out west. It's kind of an opposite pattern that we've seen most of the summer, where we've had a very high amplitude ridge out west with a kind of a trough in the east. Now we're getting a nice long wave pattern, but with troughing in the west and a ridge here across the southeast. And this is where we saw a lot of rainfall this summer, but right now we're seeing mostly dry weather conditions, with the exception of a few showers across the state of Florida, as we kind of have an old front out here that's in the process of washing out right now. So that guy is dissipating. So we're still going to see some showers down here along the Texas coast and the Gulf Coast and into the state of Florida till about Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Could see that potential for some isolated showers and storms, and that's mostly because of tropical moisture coming off of the Gulf and the Atlantic as interacting with that warm air mass. So we're seeing that air rise and make some showers and storms there. But we're going to talk about our potent storm across the state of Minnesota along the Canadian border. Here we have a very strong area of low pressure with an associated cold front with a lighter energy behind it, and we're going to be seeing some showers and thunderstorms for your Saturday and Sunday through portions of the Midwest down through portions of Missouri, Illinois, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. We could be seeing a potential for some severe weather, and there is another strong storm system that's going to come onto the west coast from Northern California and into the Pacific Northwest, and it's going to bring some very beneficial rainfall to that region and much cooler temperatures. Here's a look at our Sunday upper air pattern. There is that potent low pressure center coming onto the west coast there. Going to bring some heavy rain through portions of California, Oregon, and Washington for your Sunday. Our Midwest system tries to lift into southern Canada and the Great Lakes, and it's going to spread some rain showers through Wisconsin and Michigan, and then down through the Corn Belt, through Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, and down through Arkansas. So this region, we're going to be seeing that potential for some thunderstorms on your Sunday. So here we are as we take a look at our anticipated. This is our look at what our radar is going to look like with the forecast model thinks that we're going to see this weekend. And there's that flare up there. And through Iowa, this is going to be MCS that's going to expect it to develop here through the Midwest, and it's going to bring some heavy rain and some thunderstorms. Also, that potential for severe weather, and we see that spin in the atmosphere right there. You see that spin coming up into southern Canada there. That's going to be our energy producer there, and we're going to be seeing all that scattered showers and thunderstorms across the Midwest on your Saturday and Sunday. And here comes our Pacific storm system there. Look at that guy. A really strong storm, but it's got, you can see it kind of disappears and washes out as it moves over the mountains. But it's going to come on shore with a very strong area of low pressure, and it's going to spread some heavy rain through portions of Northern California, Oregon, and into Washington. But that guy is going to rain most of its stuff out on the Pacific side. But it's going to still be there. It's just going to lose a lot of its organization as it moves over the mountains. But once it moves into the high plains next week, we'll see it kind of re-energize and reorganize. And here we go, the potential for some more heavy rain across Minnesota and Iowa as we get into next week. Here we are as we take a closer look and examine this severe situation that we're going to be seeing across Minnesota for your Saturday. And here we are, we have our slight risk area, and that's going to be primarily for some heavy rain and some gusty winds there. So we can see some rain and hail and gusty winds. I wouldn't even rule out an isolated tornado. We can see up to 1 inch diameter hail across portions of Minnesota on your Saturday, and down here in central Iowa, we can see. Now this one is going to be more later in the day, where Minnesota is going to see their severe about the late morning to the mid-afternoon across the Twin Cities, and this will be later in the day when that MCS develops. So we have that potential across portions of Iowa and southern Minnesota for that. And in between, we'll see our isolated severe storms, and those will all primarily be wind events and maybe some brief heavy rainfall for that region. And here we are as we take a look at what our close-up of our Midwest radar. And here you are, you're going to see that blow up there. There's that MCS. And then here is that warm front that's going to bring that energy across Minnesota. And let's watch it again. There's our Minnesota storms right there. You saw that go through. That's going to be on your Saturday. And then here's your Saturday evening setup there for that situation across Iowa and northern Missouri. All right. So here we are as we talk about Tropical Storm Fiona. Tropical Storm Fiona is having winds of about 50 miles per hour. So it's a kind of a minimal tropical storm. Fiona and Lester are both minimal tropical storms. It's going to kind of struggle a little bit to hold itself together as it's coming onto the Leeward Islands. Pretty soon it's going to cross over Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic and Haiti. So we're going to be seeing it cross over several land masses. So it's going to have a little bit of a hard time with intensification, and we won't see any real significant intensification until we get to your Tuesday, when Fiona is right about here and it's just to the west of Cuba, or to the east of Cuba and the Bahamas. So we're going to see it become a Category 1 hurricane by the time we get to Wednesday at 2 p.m. So it's anticipated to be a hurricane, and it's going to make its turn to the north and east. There is a very, very slight chance that it could affect the eastern U.S. We're thinking about maybe North Carolina points northward. It could maybe brush the United States by about Friday or Saturday of next week. And very slight. Don't quote me. Don't hold me to that. It could be very much changes. It could go in the same pattern that things have been going. So I don't think that we will have to really worry about it just yet. But there is, some of the models have indicated that possibility. But remind you that they are outliers. It's not our control model. So, but there are a few outliers hinting that it could brush the East Coast by next weekend. So just to think, next weekend we're still going to be talking about Tropical Storm Fiona. Here's a look at her on the satellite, our infrared satellite. For some reason it's not in motion for me, but you were supposed to see it swirling and spinning, but it's not doing that for me today. But we are seeing that convection there. You see that nice thunderstorm going on right here. So it has not very well organized here. A lot of its energy is down. The center of circulation is right about here, and you see a lot of its energy is to the east and southeast there. So it's not doing a very good job of wrapping that stuff all the way around. We're not seeing a very nice tight ball here. It's kind of convoluted there, trying to fight through some shear as well. So, but it's going to be just enough to hang on to get through to next week, when it can finally really get into more favorable conditions and strengthen into at least a Category 1 hurricane by the time we hit Wednesday. So here we are to talk about Tropical Storm Lester. Now Lester is a category, it's a 40 mile per hour storm. So it's about 1 mile an hour, 1 or 2 miles per hour over that tropical storm threshold. And this is forecast to move onshore at 1 a.m. in the middle of the night, Sunday. So it's going to be a tropical storm, come on shore. It's a tropical depression, and it's kind of close to going to move off this way. Eventually it's going to turn to the west and move back out over the water, where there is a slight chance that it could reorganize into a tropical storm and take pretty much the same track that Katie took, that's going to bring it past Cabo San Lucas and Ensenada and close to Southern California, possibly. But I think it's going to be much weaker than Katie was if it can get back to, okay, camera issues here. If it can get back to tropical storm strength, but we'll have to wait and see and watch to see what happens as it comes, where it comes back offshore over from Mexico. Here we are as we take a look at the clouds from Leicester. Again, not moving for me when it's supposed to be swirling and doing everything. But it's not showing me any love. But that's okay. As you can see, it's not very organized as well. Fighting off a lot of wind shear out there. It's really struggling to hold itself together. It is a minimal tropical storm with 40 miles per hour wind. So one thing it is doing is producing a lot of heavy rainfall. So we can see that potential for flooding across portions of southwestern Mexico, and we can see some mudslides as well. Here we are as we look at our weather forecast for this weekend, and here's our dynamic storm system across the Midwest, and that's going to be that potential for some severe weather for Sunday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Saturday here is this secondary front here. That's going to be what brings it across Minnesota, and this guy here is going to spread this front. The cold front is going to be responsible for some showers and storms across Iowa and Missouri. So that's going to be where that MCS sets up on Saturday afternoon, and we're going to be seeing that potential for some severe weather down across that region. And we have a secondary front that's coming onto the Pacific Northwest that's going to spread some rainfall through Oregon and Washington and Idaho, and even Northern California is going to get some beneficial rains as well. Nothing drought busting, but definitely some much improved temperatures and some much needed rainfall across the Pacific Northwest. A little bit of snow is going to be possible as well through portions of Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho. So that's certainly something to watch out for as we're starting to talk about some wintry weather out west. So here we are as we take a look at your Sunday. Our Midwest storm system moves a little bit to the east. The low pressure center starts to track a little bit northeast into southern Canada and the Great Lakes. There on Sunday, it's going to be just on the north tip of Lake Superior and southern Canada right there. And we're going to be seeing more of those showers. Here's our potential for severe weather through portions of Iowa as well as northwestern Illinois. My mother-in-law lives in northwestern Illinois, so we'll have to warn her about that potential for that severe weather on your Sunday. And we're going to start to see some showers and storms spread into the northeast as well, as we have another front and an area of low pressure out this way that's going to spread cooler temperatures and that potential for showers and thunderstorms out that way. Dry weather across the southeast for the most part, with the exception of some moisture from the Gulf of Mexico and the southeast interacting with the warm landmass here. So we're going to be seeing some isolated showers and thunderstorms along the Gulf Coast for your Saturday and Sunday. And a little bit of monsoon moisture across the four corners. Again, we're still dealing with the monsoons. This is a never-ending monsoon. So a little bit of showers and storms through southeastern Arizona and western New Mexico for your Sunday. But otherwise, dry conditions across the southwest. Here we are as we talk about those temperatures along the East Coast. And look at those cooler temperatures into the Northeast. We are talking about 60s and 70s. So for Boston, through the big cities, we'll see 80s as we get to the mid-Atlantic and down the southeast coast and into Florida. We're going to be seeing many 80s out there, and maybe 1 or 2 90s is going to be possible as well. We'll see our 90s through parts of western Tennessee and Kentucky, through southern Missouri, as well as into Arkansas here. We might see a few temperatures in the 90s, as well as down in Louisiana. Cooler weather across the northern plains, so Minnesota, we'll see those 70s, Minnesota and Wisconsin. You might still see a few 80s across the Twin Cities because you have that heat island. So the city's going to be a little bit warmer, and through portions of California, no, through Minnesota, because we're going to have a little bit of a warm front coming, warm things up for a brief period before the cold front sweeps through and really cools things down nicely on your Saturday. So, but that'll be late in the day when that cold front sweeps through. But in the morning, a warm front's going to lift through, so you will see temperatures warm to the 80s through Minnesota. Here we are as we take a look at the West Coast. We're starting to see very cool weather, 50s through the Rockies here and into the Pacific Northwest. But we have the Cascade Mountain Range where we're seeing those temperatures in the 50s and 60s and 70s out in the Pacific Northwest. Very comfortable weather conditions. Our 80s through the Central Valley and 80s and 90s across the southern deserts out here. And that is a look at the temperatures across America for your all right, that's the end of the slide, the forecast there. So my name is Mr. G. Thanks for watching. Leave your likes, comments, and concerns down at the bottom. And always follow, if you're not a subscriber, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys later when we go live this weekend. Bye-bye.